All right, good evening. Along with the good people of the Iron Triangle, Richmore Village, Metro Square, Coronado, and Park Plaza Neighborhood Councils, I want to welcome everyone to this forum, hoping that what we learn here tonight will have an impact on the upcoming election to determine who will serve for the next 4 years as our mayor of the city of Richmond. We also want to thank our host, Vibe Bistro, for providing the locale. Candidates have already been previously advised in advance about the format and the rules, but some of you, I don't want you to be wondering what the heck's going on here, so I'll explain a few things. To help ensure that what we hear tonight are the thoughts and beliefs of the candidates and not their advisors, we ask that the candidates turn their electronic devices onto silent and stow them away so they won't have access to them during the forum. For the audience member, you can put it on silent as well. We don't need any phones interrupting everything. So with the candidates, we have 5 candidates. The order that they will be speaking, initially, it is alphabetically by their first name. The closing statements will be the reverse of that. For the questions themselves, we have randomly selected one person to be the lead, and then the remaining 4, our hosts have said they want to invite the people in alphabetical order again. You'll be changing for every question. What can you expect tonight? Each candidate will have 2 minutes to present themselves in this presentation. We ask you to tell us about your history living and working in Richmond, followed by anything else you wish to highlight. Please include and highlight what distinguishes you from your opposing candidate. The bottom line should be a solid argument why any of us should invest our vote in you to ensure a solid future for Richmond and all of us. The questions themselves, the hosts have drafted 8 questions for each candidate. The responses will be limited to 2 minutes. Following the responses, candidates will be offered an opportunity for a 1-minute rebuttal to what has been said by the other candidates. The candidates are admonished to stick to rebutting what has already been said. Using this time to just speak on anything you want will be met by my own immediate rebuttal. Please stay focused and abide by these rules. As this is a debate, candidates can rebut the other candidates' comments, compare or contrast other candidates' positions, or pass. This time cannot be used to simply elaborate on your initial statement or go off on a different direction. I've been asked by the host to help keep you focused. Unlike the council meetings, I will interrupt you and redirect you. Please don't set me up to be the bad guy. Time permitting, we may ask several yes-no questions where you'll be asked to hold up a yes or no placard. No commentary. The closing remarks will then be limited to 60 seconds. If you haven't made it clear why you are the best candidate, this is your chance to shine. One last admonishment. You're staring at a countdown clock and even a set of lights, so you know when your time is up. This is not your first time at a forum. Please show the other candidates and those of us here in the audience the respect we are all owed by not going past your allotted time. After all of that, let's get this show on the road and have some fun. Sound like a plan? All right. As we begin this forum, we will start with opening statements from the candidates, where each of them will be allowed up to 2 minutes, starting with Mr. Anderson.
Good evening. My name is Ahmad Anderson. As you know, I'm running for mayor in this great city of pride and purpose. Look, we need a change of leadership, and the time has come. We need leadership that is transparent, accountable, and operates with integrity and people-centered focus. We need leadership that's, as myself, who's demonstrated and proven their ability to not only look after public safety, as I'm a safety monitor, a block captain in the city of Richmond here for my neighborhood, but also someone who's brought forth jobs here, jobs like UPS and other jobs with Goodwill Industry of the Greater East Bay, as I'm an HR administrator. But we also need somebody who has worked in the community to ensure that there's housing. I'm the fair housing advocate for Northern California on their board. We not only protect renters, we also take care of what needs to be done when we're looking out for housing in this community. And not just regular housing or affordable housing, but reasonable housing. Making sure we meet people at each level we can. But the umbrella piece is all the safety issues, all the issues I'm talking about are public health issues. If you're safe, respected, and protected, businesses will be able to thrive. They'll be able to develop not just jobs, but quality opportunities for career, for benefits for working families, and housing. You want to make sure people want to come live in Richmond and not get the same old story when you say, where do you live? Richmond. Oh. We need to do better, we can do better, but it's your opportunity to vote for that opportunity to change it. We, us together, can make a difference. Know that your voice, our actions matter. Ahmad Anderson, Mayor, June 2nd, 2026. I need your help, want your help, gotta have your help. Let's go, Richmond.
Thank you very much. Ms. Jimenez.
Yeah, thank you so much for organizing this, and thank you all of you for coming here, and Bistro for allowing us to be in this wonderful space. I am running for mayor because Richmond has an incredible opportunity to become a city of the future. A green economy, good paying jobs, and housing people can actually afford. A city with safe streets, walkable neighborhoods, and well-maintained parks where kids and families can thrive. A city where artists and local businesses bring life to our downtown. I believe in Richmond where people can thrive, not just get by. That means affordable housing at every level, union jobs, and bold investment in our future, including modernizing our core for the green economy. This vision, I believe, is shared by many of you, but the question is, who can deliver it? I believe I have been working in collaboration with other city councils to deliver. We had stabilized our finances. We had invested in the public works department so we can start seeing clean parks, clean streets. We had invested in street calming projects, and this year we invested $6 million, so you are going to start seeing that investment in our community. So I have been doing the work, and I believe I can do much good job in the city of Richmond as a mayor. Thank you so much.
I had asked all the candidates to put the microphones a little bit off to the side so it didn't block their faces, but right now, maybe move them a little bit closer so we pick up the volume. Appreciate that. Mr. Johnson, the third.
Well, good evening, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Demnlus Johnson III, and I am your candidate for mayor. First, I'd like to thank the organizers of this event, as well as our community members and neighbors for coming out and having this important conversation with us tonight. As mentioned, I'm Demnlus Johnson. I'm a fourth-generation Richmond resident, Howard University graduate, Goldman School of Public Policy graduate for my master's degree, former Richmond City Council member, as well as former vice mayor of the city of Richmond. Running to improve the quality of life, improve housing, economic development, employment, and opportunity overall here in the city of Richmond. I am the candidate that will deliver. I am Richmond, California. Once again, I am your candidate for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martinez.
Thank you. Thank you for putting this together, and thanks for coming to listen to us. My name is Eduardo Martinez. I am the current mayor, and if you have lived in Richmond, you would know that Richmond has improved over the last 4 years that I've been mayor. When I talk to people who come from out of town, they always say, wow, I didn't realize that Richmond was such a nice place. So we need to keep that up and making sure that all of our neighborhoods improve, and we do that with public safety. We've invested in prevention, not just enforcement. We've developed youth programs, mental health response, community-based violence interruption. We support police accountability and transparency while ensuring that resources are there for emergency response. We want to expand non-police crises for mental health and quality of life. Also economic development, which is necessary for a city to thrive. We're focusing on local small business growth. We want to revitalize key corridors such as McDonald Avenue, Hilltop, and we want to cut the red tape. There's so much to do in terms of housing, in terms of recreation, quality of life, opportunities for youth and our future, and governance. We want to make sure that we're honest about where we are and in terms of constraints, staffing, timelines, so focus on execution, not just ideas. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Mr. Wassberg.
Mark Wassberg, worked in Richmond all my life as a mechanic, worked in the factories, refineries. Seemed like I'm the only one here that worked in Richmond. Right now, our current government, we cannot have a current government right now that's doing what they're doing for the last 20 years. They did more for criminals than they did for law-abiding citizens. Let me give you a rundown here. Stopping political checkpoints, giving illegal immigrants fraudulent ID cards. This free zone stuff, stopping ICE is all just a bunch of lies. They know they're not going to stop it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's on and on and on. You don't do these things when you're in our government. I mean, it's totally ridiculous. This is not what our government's about, people. It's on and on and on. This is what they've been doing. I mean, this is the most dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Now you got five candidates here, right? There's no debate because 4 of them believe in the same thing. So how are you going to have a debate? I can debate all 4 of them, but they can't debate each other. We need a government that's going to respect our constitutional laws, not defunding the police, standing up for Antifa, the BLM, standing up for Hamas, like Guado did. He caught Hades for that, right? You don't do these things when you're in our government. It's ridiculous. It's lie after lie after lie, and the RPA thinks the city council thinks they're doing a good thing. If I'm there, this is not going to happen. They're still crying over Chevron polluting the air, and yet Chevron gave all this money to the city residents, and they still want to close it down. You see how two-faced these people are? If it was me, I'd be praising Chevron. I'd be hiring more police. I wouldn't be defunding the police for standing up for terrorism, hate, and standing up for illegal immigrants. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And believe it or not, I said the computer used a random number generator and it picked for the first question the exact same order. So we'll start with Mr. Anderson. Question is, and by the way, for the audience, the candidates all have the questions printed out in front of them, so they can be able to read them. Hopefully we should not have to repeat the question. Okay? Richmond's image and overall rankings. Richmond continues to rank poorly when it comes to crime rates, housing construction, fiscal health, and overall image compared to nearby cities. Two-part question. What do you believe is behind these poor rankings, and then how will you work to turn this around? Mr. Anderson.
As I mentioned previously, you have to have an investment in the public health issue. One of the number one public health issues is public safety. If you're not doing the right thing, at least from a staffing standpoint, it needs to be a three-pronged approach. Do the kind of educating of our police so they have an understanding. If we could stop the clocks now. Yeah, sorry. The clock. Go.
He wasn't out of time, so
Go. Keep on. Yes.
Keep
So
on.
I was saying, what is about the public health? It is public health because it's public safety. One, you need to also be able to educate the police about what the hardships have been, the trauma in our community, how it's impacted our community throughout our city. When you do that, along with the needs for public health, it's a concern that we have the folks that can do the job. We do have ROC, but I have had the opportunity to work with the West Oakland Public Housing and Health Concerns Program. We operated not only in West Oakland, but in Contra Costa, working on ways to address the mental health issues in our community, to go out, speak to the community, understand what community policing is all about, speak to our youth, being involved in mentoring programs, being involved in youth programs, getting to know the community all around. As a public safety representative, one that is a block captain, I'm able to speak to folks across the community. They talk about what is the concern also is housing. Where should we have people live? Where should we have the opportunity where people can meet them where they are, where you have not just affordable housing, but reasonable housing? Look at the permitting process. It gets in the way. Look at the open lots that we have here that the city owns. That gets in the way. What are we doing to step up and step in with the urgency that impacts not only the unhoused, but the attractiveness of the city? You should be somebody who brands the city, advocates for this opportunity, networks within the community, and is a conduit. to all the communities, no matter what the zip code is, to step up and step in, to be able to lay down policies that impact you no matter what the zip code is, but seeing the city of Richmond as one. From a fiscal standpoint, I've been an administrator, worked at major organizations from UPS here to even Goodwill at the Greater East Bay. Understanding the trends of workforce is essential to being a great administrator and being collaborative on city council.
Point of order. Is there a question number 2? At the last forum, I did not have a question.
They didn't show up either.
So there's no question 2. Is that correct?
It's not in here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
There is a question too. I will read it to you. Somebody screwed up on the printing, and I know who it was. Me. So I apologize on that.
Good catch.
There will be a question too. I will speak slowly.
And we'll give you a little bit of extra time considering the lapse.
And you have the order.
Yes, we do. Okay.
Thank you.
But if we have a technical snafu, as we just did with the timer, nobody was going to be cheated here.
Yes.
So everybody, if you go over a little bit, please just, on the honor system, don't abuse this mistake. Okay? Are you reset?
Yes.
And after these questions, you will have an opportunity to rebut. Okay. Ms. Jimenez.
Thank you. I think we are improving, and I am recognizing that there is more that we can do. But let me tell you what this city and this leadership has done. Last year we closed with the lowest homicide rate in the history of the city. Of course, there are so many other crimes that we need to address, but we are doing that as well. Enhancing construction, we clean up many things like Miraflores, and I want to get a praise to Councilmember Doria because she led to get these bad developers, so now we can have the opportunity to dream about what we are going to do there. Metro Walk is in the queue to be developed, and we approve that. The fiscal health, we have been doing well. After my leadership of getting the city of Richmond out of predatory loans, the credit ratings went up twice. And this year we got out of the state audit. We got every year for 3 years in a row surplus, and we had the $550 million that we negotiated with Chevron to come to the community for these 10 years. So in terms of what compare other cities, I don't know, but like police officers are coming from Oakland to be hired here because they are seeing the threat of layoff in other cities that are with deficit. We don't have a deficit. What we are is in the strongest fiscal situation than ever Richmond had. So I just want to challenge a little bit this because the numbers and what we had done is working. It's not perfect, and we need to do more. And this is why I am running for mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, thank you so much for the question. When it comes to crime, we most definitely need a full police force to address and investigate rapes, robberies, and all of these serious crimes that are helping to put us at these ranking levels. Work to make things more cohesive between the council and the police department, so that way we can attract even more people and folks who work here will enjoy working here. In terms of housing, I believe that the design review board responsibilities should be folded into the planning commission to make the permitting process speedier. Also, investigate being more aggressive about funding and finding investors that match our values here in the city of Richmond. And explore non-traditional housing, as I mentioned before, prefab housing, modular housing, in different modes that come in cheaper and often quicker as well. In terms of our fiscal health, we have to make the right investments as well as expand our revenue streams. I'm always talking about the property tax, the business tax, and the utility user tax. And I'll be sure to get into that a little bit more. But then in terms of our overall image, we need a real spokesperson for the city of Richmond. And that's part of the job as the mayor. Someone who's active in the county as well as in our region and has those relationships both personally and professionally. Someone who can communicate effectively our story and what we're doing great here. Someone who can take back control of our image. Because it does nothing if we're doing all of these great things, but even our residents don't know about them. If we don't have a mayor who can be that for the city of Richmond, then what are we?
Sorry?
No problem.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, our overall image in regards to that, we need a real spokesperson in terms of the mayor who can represent the city, both in the media as well as in person, in the community as well as outside the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martinez.
Yes, as I said before, our image is improving. We are becoming a city that people want to come to. We are a diamond in the rough. When I was first elected as mayor, I was asked by Bloomberg Foundation to go and have some leadership training, which I did. I also found out that they had programs. I brought 3 Bloomberg Foundation grants to the city of Richmond to train our staff to become a better city. Our first one was with the Port of Richmond, where we focused on leadership. The next one was on community engagement, which included staff, the police department, and Parks and Recreation. And the third one was around data, so that we can begin improving our data. So this is me reaching out to different major foundations to invest in the city of Richmond. We have also done so much to make Richmond a place on the map. I have also started along with Councilmember Robinson, the McDonald Avenue Task Force, so we can start improving the McDonald Avenue. I've been engaged in the Hilltop effort, and I helped bring a Prime Store to Hilltop Plaza. Plaza. Anyway, there's 2 Hilltops, the one at the top. Anyway, we are improving, so we will continue to do that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Wassberg. Same question.
Crime is up. Shootings, beatings, carjackings, robberies, it's up. Sure, the homicide rate is down because they killed each other out. I said, but 95% of the violence was in here, central Richmond, north, and south. That's where the majority of the homicides were at. I know, I filmed it. Now they talk about, every time I'm out of town, they say, where are you from? I'm from Richmond, California. They go like this here. I said, dude, for the last 5, 6, 7 years, Richmond was the most dangerous city in the state, starting in 2004. Now, you gonna tell me Richmond has a good image? And plus, the city council's been on the news every day, supporting Hamas, shutting off the cameras, because they don't want the information going to the feds, cracking down on criminals, child molesters, rapists. Just about every scumbag on earth is in Richmond, because that's why they end up shutting off the cameras. Because it's the city council that's doing this, people. You have to understand what these people are doing. You need to go to the city councils and start listening. Now, healthcare, I'm not concerned about healthcare. That is another issue. Now, construction, the reason why they're not coming in is because the city, RPA is dictating these contractors on what to do. They're telling them, no, we don't want this, we don't want that. How are the contractors going to make a profit when the city council is telling them, well, we want it this way here, we want it that way? You know what they're going to say? They say, hey, forget about it. We're not going to even bother. Well, I'd like to see a pilot program where you pay on your income. You know, we could build these mini homes around here because we have a lot of land, and we could have a pilot program. I mean, we could put in $1 million. It's nothing. We're getting all this money from Chevron. We can use $1 million out of that. So you're going to have to realize this is what the city government's doing. It's because of them that Richmond has a bad reputation.
Thank you, Mr. Wassberg. As I will read this question number 2 since you don't have it in front of you. If you,
The rebuttal.
sorry, thank you. Forgot. Does anybody care to rebut? Raise your hand. Okay. We'll start with Mr. Anderson and then go to Ms. Jimenez and Mr. Wassberg.
You know, we talked about crime right here, and I'll say specifically, the crime rate of murders has gone down, but it's recently increased. statistics will show you as summer comes along, murder increases as well. If you don't have jobs in the community, if you don't have community input on what's impacting their communities, this will always be the case. In addition to that, we talked about the loans and the budget, and I'm glad to hear that we restructured the loans, but we remember during the 2020, you received the deferments of loans. Only when it becomes due, like it will for 2035 here in the city, it will increase the deficit to 119 million if we do not increase our tax revenue to pay the bills. In addition to that, staffing, if you're not hiring staff, of course your budget looks great. But you know what looks bad? Is your community. Public works, the bread and butter things, the potholes, the staffing of police, those, even the rock services that will also support the city and making sure the image matches what we say and more of what we do.
Thank you very much. Ms. Jimenez.
I don't know where you get, Mr. Anderson, the idea that we need to pay all of these. We restructure the predatory loan, and because we got out of this predatory loan, we were able to save over the time of the loan $84 million. And this is why we got credit ratings up that year, twice. What that means is that if we are going to go to the banks and ask for money, we are going to have better interest rates because we are in a better situation. The other thing is about, the crime, and we need to recognize that, and we are making effort to fill the vacancies. It hasn't been easy, but now Chief Simmons is doing it, and actually people even from Oakland are coming to the city. And again, I think we are moving forward in a way that needs to continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wassberg.
I want to know why she lied about she was negotiating at $500 million from Chevron. If you go ahead and Google it, Chevron gave the money to the city of Richmond because they wanted to put her on the ballot because they knew the ballot was going to lose. So Chevron goes, okay, we'll give you this money. See, it's all a bunch of lies. And she's lying about how she's going to stop ICE. This free zone, you think you're going to stop the federal government for enforcing constitutional law? It's totally the most stupidest thing I've ever seen in my time. It was her, Robinson, and the RPA. They got some dumb idea that they're going to stop the feds for arresting criminals. See, it's lie after lie after lie. If you go ahead, like I said, you just got to go and Google it, people. I said, the city council did not do nothing to get that $500 million. And now they're still criticizing Chevron. Well, sure, during the summertime, the homicides are going to go up, but they got nobody killed because they done killed each other out. What do you got? About what, 7, 8 homicides now compared to about 47?
Thank you, Mr. Wassberg. Last chance for the other two candidates? Rebuttals? Okay, then we'll go to question number 2. The order will be Mr. Johnson, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Martinez, Ms. Jimenez, and then Mr. Wassberg. And so if you have to ask for me to repeat the question, you get a free pass on this one. Okay, Richmond's image and overall rankings. Richmond continues to rank poorly when it comes to crime rates, housing construction, fiscal health. Okay, looks like we're skipping number 2 completely.
All right.
We don't have number 2.
I'm going to get home and I'm going to smash the heck out of that computer and printer.
Maybe number 3 and number 2.
Well,
Here's the new 2.
3 is number 2. Okay, the order will be Mr. Johnson, Mr. Wassberg, Mr. Martinez, Ms. Jimenez, and Mr. Anderson. Okay, housing. In districts 1 and 3, there are currently several low-income housing projects that are stalled, including the Miraflores project in Park Plaza, the 12th and McDonald project in the Iron Triangle, and the Richmond BART housing project in Belding Woods. Why do you believe these projects are stalled, and how will you get more housing built in our community?
I believe there are a few reasons, but 2 primary reasons that I'd like to touch on. And I mentioned this before, the Design Review Board holds up a lot of our permitting. Sometimes they can't even get a quorum to meet, so projects are often stalled there. And you have to go to design review before you go to planning, and sometimes if the project makes it to the city council meeting. Same with the planning commission, they've had issues with the quorum as well. So I believe combining those 2 commissions and putting those qualified board members together, So that way we can get a quorum and move these projects along would be one of the first steps in getting things off the ground here in the city of Richmond and sending a signal to the world, the developing world, that we are looking to make things simpler here in the city of Richmond when it comes to housing development. Also, there are a lot of budgeting shortfalls when it comes to our housing developments, especially when it comes to developing affordable housing. But we need a mayor that's going to be aggressive in going out and finding investors who align with our values here in the city of Richmond. Finding individuals here in our backyard who may want to invest in housing projects, affordable housing projects, and being smart about putting together government grants and other forms of funding to address those things. But also, as we talk about affordable housing, I also want to talk about a right to return policy that I'd like to promote here in the city of Richmond as mayor, so that way individuals who have been pushed out to East County or even as far as Sacramento and Stockton can come back home if they choose to, if they want to come back home. Also, I've mentioned before, helping to cut down construction costs by exploring other forms outside of traditional construction, such as prefab housing or modular housing. I know that there's, even container housing. Look around, look at what's being done with containers in this space alone. That the housing market is also changing. So that's why I believe these projects are being stalled, and that's what I would do in order to get more built in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wassberg.
Well, actually, they're not telling us why it's stalled. But I think because they're telling the contractors what to do. Now, on this McDonald thing, you might forget about it. I said, you go down Nevins Park, you go over to Food Court, what do you see? Bunch of homeless people, bunch of druggies, homeless people. Just about every lot there, after the 68 riot here in Richmond was gone. This is why they built the Hilltop Mall. And you think you can build anything down there when you got a bunch of thugs out in Nevins Park? The whole McDonald area is done with crime. Why do you think T-Mobile closed up? About 3 months ago, they tried to burn down Walgreens. Now, you're going to tell me business is going to come in here with all the high crime area there? It's going to take about $1 billion to redo McDonald's. They're going to have to tear down the whole complete from the city hall all the way down to the end. They're not going to come down here. I said, it's like I told you, you go down there and look for yourself. What do you see? See people leaving even feces, smoking crack all around up by Nevins Park, all down there. You got empty lots. I said, it's gone, people, face it. They're not gonna, what are you gonna build? You're gonna build, like Guado said, at Penny's? Penny's is closing up left and right here in the country. So what's the answer? Probably going to have to leave it just like it is. I said, you can build all the new buildings you want. As long as you got the same people here, you're going to have the same problem. What they did, they remodeled Nevins Park, but the gangsters still came back. You had a homicide there in 2023. Now, you think business is going to come in here? I don't think so.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martinez.
There's several reasons why housing has stalled. For instance, the Miraflores project was a boondoggle. Whoever made the deal with those people did a terrible deal and left the city in the lurch. They ended up borrowing money on money that should have been used to build Miraflores. So we need to make sure that the deals that we make in the future are good deals that are solid and support the city. Also, the Richmond Bark housing project, one of the major problems that we have is that we're having difficulties, or the developers are having difficulties getting state building credits. So this is their third time to try it, and hopefully we'll be able to get those credits so that the building can begin. We also need to look at building that we have done. For instance, in North Richmond, we have the Legacy building, and those are really wonderful places for people of low income. They even have spaces for homeless to move into and begin their lives anew. I've talked to many of them, and they feel that Richmond is their city because Richmond looks after the poor, the people who have been disadvantaged. So we need to make sure that we make housing for everyone.
Thank you very much. Ms. Jimenez.
Yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to say that many of these developing agreements that we have were bad. And you and District 3 has a wonderful city council that has been fighting to get justice for the community. Doria Robinson was the one leading the work around the Miraflores and get together the community, so the community really knew what was happening, because that developer was lying to the community and making seem that, oh, poor them and horrible the city of Richmond. We clean up the Metro Watt deal that was put out before. Right now, what we are doing is we are not giving the land, we are listening, so we are having control over the land so we can make affordability real. And that is what we are doing, but the economy is not helping us. So this is why we need to be more aggressive about really creating some funds that allow developers to collaborate with the city. It needs to be city funds so we can start moving the right kind of housing that we want to develop. Otherwise, it will be the developers telling us what to do, and maybe what they want, because they want profit, is not the best for the community. So we are doing that, and I think like the good example of that is the McDonald Task Force Corridor, where we are making a plan of like, what is the land that we have, how many units, what we want here, so that we sell that plan, because without a plan, then you don't have that vision, and then you don't get that information. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jimenez. Mr. Anderson.
Yes, as Mr. Johnson, I agree totally with what he said about the design review board and planning, the need to bring that together so it's cohesive, it's clear, and communicates the pathway towards success, or the start of what needs to be finished, and put that on a timeline. But also the concern is that the information that's been provided is old news. You know, we had a city of promise, the city of promise here, when Janet Johnson was the only representative in the Economic Development Department. We didn't even have a department. We had a plan in place. It was overlooked. We need to still focus on those things that put into place. There was a Bay Area Plan 2000, which I was a member of. It talked about the change of housing, the need for housing, right here along the I-80 corridor, and also the relationship to having a transit city-based BART station here in Richmond. Bringing development to downtown Richmond before they even talked about Fruitvale being the transit city. It was Richmond. We had the trains, bus aligned together, bringing people to come to work here where they could eat, work, live, and play. We now have Bay Area 2050, and they're telling about workforce trends, where poor folks are living at home. We have not done the urgent things or represented this community in such a way that the focus has been not only on the unhoused, but those who are living here. Gentrification in this community, primarily African Americans, took place since 2006, where we did not step up and step in. It wasn't just about crime. It was not of being able to afford to work here because we didn't have jobs here, or the representation that spoke to that directly. Now we're waking up. Tick-tock, tick-tock, time is up. There's time for new leadership. The time is now.
Thank you very much. Before we get rebuttals, anybody care to rebut? Show of hands. Mr. Martinez?
Okay, just a second.
So I won't start till you're ready. Do anybody else care to rebut? People can't see, but we have to reset the clock from 2 minutes to 1 minute. There we go. Okay, Mr. Martinez.
Yes, the year Mr. Anderson mentioned was 2006. So it's been tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock since 2006. It took the Richmond Progressive Alliance to make the work start happening. Things started happening in, recently. And everything has sped up since I've been mayor. We've done so much since I've been mayor, and I can't say enough about the legacy building, and we will have much more. There's so many things in the works. We want to improve the the port. So we're working on the port, and we're trying to clean up all the old deals that have crippled the city of Richmond, deals that were made before 2014. So we will make sure that they are cleaned up so we can move forward.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all the efforts of the candidates to be able to speak into the microphone, but we get some external noises here on the HVAC, so maybe you can all move your microphones a little bit closer to you. And Mr. Anderson in particular, maybe move it to the other side because you point your head towards us. Appreciate that very much. Okay.
All right, only one rebuttal.
Yes. We only had one word rebuttal.
And this will probably be the last question, just looking at the time.
Okay. We'll go to question number 4. And the city budget and new Chevron money. The city of Richmond has a major decision to make when deciding how to spend the new Chevron $550 million. This is what do you believe should be the city's top priorities for this money? And what priorities do you have for District 3 as it relates to these new funds? Okay, we'll start with Mr. Wassberg.
Well, first of all, the money should go to the Richmond Police and Fire. That's the two most important things that the city government is public safety and infrastructure. They're the main, that's the main 2 reasons. We could have a massive job program where we can start getting these kids. As soon as you get out of high school, you got to go right into the job training programs. See, this is where these kids make a mistake. They're not doing it. Like back in the day, I worked at factories. Our friends got us jobs. Either we went in the military, but those days are over. These kids are going to have to realize that as soon as you get out of high school, playtime's over. It's time to start earning a living. For some reason, these kids are just not getting it. And I would like to see affordable housing. Just like I said, we could have a program where you pay on your income. Now, the idea by the RPA, the city council, they want to go ahead and start all these small green business jobs to put Chevron out of business. See, this is what the money's going to. They talk about the port, they talk about this, they talk about that. No jobs are going to take the place of Chevron. Face it. Chevron goes, the city goes. And this is the RPA's plan to create all these little green jobs that has no health insurance. I said, you work at Chevron right now, you can retire out of there a millionaire out of stocks. You can make $90,000. I was making $1,400 a week. Where can you do that at a small green job? You can't. They talk about the port taking the place of Chevron. They're not telling you how much money the port's going to bring in. That's just a bunch of baloney. See what I'm saying? We need infrastructure, we need police, we need fire, and we need to stop job training programs so we can better Richmond. These are the main things that the city needs to function. Anything else is just secondary.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez.
There's a lot of false narratives about these Chevron negotiations. I led that negotiation. I pushed, along with Doria Robinson and Claudia Jimenez, to get $550 million. What people don't understand is that this money went to the general fund. It goes to the general fund. And what I can't understand is how people are focused on the what I can't understand is how people are focused on the on the 50 million each year instead of focusing on the entire city budget. We need to focus on the entire. We need to focus on the entire general fund. The city council passed goals and objectives, which include everything that needs to be considered in the city of Richmond. So we have the ability to use that money how we wish to use it. But to focus on part of it instead of all of it doesn't make sense to me. We need to make sure that the entire budget is looked at and dealt with, and we need to make sure that the city council, the entire city council, listens to the community so that we know what the community wants, we know where the community wants the money spent, and we can make a decision on the entire general fund, not just 50 million of it.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, this is something that, you know, I've been saying since the $550 million, since we started these forums. The people in these communities want that money. Having to live under poor air quality, having to suffer under, you know, conditions that no one should have to suffer under, which is why I believe the first priority should be the community. Increasing monitoring here in the city of Richmond. I know Ahmad is already working on monitoring here in the city, but I think we should use those funds to increase monitoring so that way we can get a more accurate account of who the polluters are. Give our environmental managers some real teeth to go after those individuals so that way we don't come back in 5 and 10 years saying that we need another $550 million because the same health disparities are being produced here in the city of Richmond. We need to also make sure that we're taking care of those individuals in those communities who have suffered with asthma treatment, with breathing treatments. As people go through this affordability crisis and this healthcare crisis, we can't sit on $550 million and say, oh, good luck, tough you. Go tough it out with the county or some other, you know, nonprofit that'll help you get these things. As this money comes in, we have to be asking ourselves constantly, how can we reinvest this back into the community, especially those that have been extremely harmed and whose backs this was won on. No one individual, no one group won this. This was won after years and generations of individuals having to breathe in poor quality air, after individuals having to go through poor health disparities and outcomes. And I really wish that individuals would talk more about that in terms of spending the money, instead of telling people what to look at.
Thank you very much. This is Mr. Anderson.
Yes, as Mr. Johnson said, I don't care who negotiated. So what? Now what? If this was the plan that was touted back in the 2024 election, about $550 million, you all got it on your doors. That's when the conversation should have been in play about what we should have been doing with the money. Not after the fact. The lack of transparency, the lack of accountability, the lack of inclusion. And where it impacted, from Parkchester to Point Richmond, and all the neighborhoods, your neighborhoods that are sitting right here, have been impacted by it. But we don't have a hospital here. Talk about where the money would go for a hospital. Talk about where the money would go for grocery stores and not your corner market, where you have true produce and true for food and that is affordable. We're not talking about that. We're talking about general fund. Be a people-centric leader. That's what we need to be talking about right now. Where the money goes, look at the infrastructure of Parkchester that's been flooded since 1905. 20 years? Yes, you're right, 20 years, but downtown with the little sprinkles looks the same way it looked when you walked into office. Stop talking about it and be about it. On the south side, have you ever been there? Or don't you leave the annex to see what the annex looks like outside of the south side? Anything south of Cutting Boulevard, McDonald Avenue, where we don't have stores, where we do still have crime. But the gentrification of our community, the blacks specifically, because we don't have the jobs, we don't have the mentorships, man, take off the rose-colored glasses and look around. Folks in hell need ice water, they need a running hose. That is disrespectful to come to this community and talk about what you've done and you've not done anything. Who cares what you negotiate? What are you doing for the community right now? That is real talk. And I've lived here 66 years. Welcome to the party. This is what we've been through.
Thank you. Ms. Jimenez.
The 500 million settlement is a once in a generation opportunity for Richmond. And there are three things that I think we need to consider. First, we need to start the participatory process that listens to the residents, small businesses, and community groups so their ideas shape how we are going to invest these funds. Second, we need to invest strategically for Richmond's ongoing prosperity. Currently, Richmond's chevrons account for about 1/4 of our general fund, and we need to diversify our city's revenue, not just dependent in one industry. And third, we must address decades of underinvestment, particularly in District 3, repairing parks, streets, and vital infrastructure, as well as supporting programs for our residents and small businesses. And by combining these three things, participatory process, invest a smart investment that is strategically and get that money extended more time than just 10 years, and addressing historic underinvestment, we can ensure these funds strengthen Richmond now and for generations to come. And I think one of the things that we are doing and is on the agenda for Tuesday is to create a new park for Pullman. And this is something that we need to start addressing in District 3. And thank you, Councilmember Robinson. You have an excellent advocate for District 3, and I hope you go for her in this election. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any rebuttal requests? That's right. I saw Ms. Jimenez and Mr. Martinez and Mr. Wassberg. Okay, we're going to start, since I've already got the camera pointed at you. Ms. Jimenez.
So I just wanted to say that it's to hear the criticism about how the $550 million came. I am proud to say that Councilmember Robinson, Eduardo Martinez, and I put a fight to get Chevron to pay more. They started with $300 million. And some of the city council were running and rushing to say yes to that. And we say no. And we were able to push and push. It's not about any judge that says that he needed to. We had the courage to put a ballot initiative. And I don't know who will have that courage when people are receiving money from big corporations. This is why we did. And we knew that it was going to win, and this is what Chevron started to put money on the table. And of course, we didn't know what we are going to do with that money because we didn't know how much money we were going to receive. So now we are starting that process so we can dream about what we can do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wassberg, and then Mr. Martinez will have the last word on this.
That's a flat out lie. Go ahead and Google it, people. I said these anarchists out there threatened to sue Chevron, and they wanted to put it on the ballot because they knew it was going to lose. So Chevron goes, okay, we'll go ahead and pay the money. Now, one person on the city council had anything to do by getting that money. Like I told you, go ahead and Google it, people. It's all there. Chevron goes, okay, since we're a nice person, we'll go ahead and give the money. Instead of filing a lawsuit, because it'll be in the courts for probably about 30 years. They keep on advocating that we did this and we did that. They did nothing. And I can't see how in the world you people can believe this stuff. It's plain out, bunch of flat out lies.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez.
Yes, I understand how Mr. Anderson, while running for mayor, thinks that his best strategy is to denigrate me and to not recognize all the accomplishments I've made. I also understand how he likes to say that I spend my life in the annex, even though he's shooken hands with me all throughout the city. One thing I'd like to say is that I'm generally there before him, and I leave after he leaves. He basically just shows up to shake hands and let people know that he's there. I go there to meet the people and to be with them and to take information from them so that I can represent them better.
Thank you very much. Many of you are here tonight know that we have a second forum coming up for District 3 City Council. Unfortunately, we got started almost 15 minutes late. That cut into your question time. So we are going to, yes?
I know I missed the cutoff, but I did have a quick rebuttal.
Fine, I'm sorry.
Yes, indeed. I mean, because, you know, our next mayor has to be willing to work with everybody on the council. And I'm just curious because I've heard a lot about, you know, Councilmember Robinson done great work, and then mentioned Martinez, and then also there's Wilson. Why do you guys never work with Councilmember Brown, who also represents downtown Richmond, and whose district looks a lot like District 3? Why is an entire district being ignored because you don't like a council member? Why isn't Cecil Zepeda being worked with? I mean, we talk a lot about the flooding in Parkchester Village, but there's shanty towns in Parkchester Village. I mean, shanty towns that look like the ones in South Africa and Brazil in Parkchester Village. Why aren't you working across the council? Why are you only working with individuals that you like or individuals that you agree with on every single thing? Why hasn't there been cross collaboration in every district?
Since we had an add-on there, we have one more council member. Do you care to rebut anything, Mr.
Sure.
Anderson?
And people who know me, people in this room have known me all my life. You've known the Anderson family all their life. I'm not just a show-up guy. I've been there standing 10 toes down long before the mayor was elected. You don't have to be elected to be a leader, but you do have to show empathy. I'm that guy, as you all know. I don't have to prove anything or denigrate anybody, but if the shoe fits, strap it on.
Thank you very much. And as I started saying a few minutes ago, we've kind of run out of time. We need to show the respect for the D3 candidates in that forum. So we're going to be bypassing some of our last questions, but right in front of you, you each have 2 sheets of paper. Say Y and N, yes and no. We're going to ask you, looks like 6 questions here. We want you to all hold up only one at a time. Yep, there's no commentary on it. What? Somebody shouting at me?
It's on the
And hold them up long enough so that I can scan you and record responses. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. First one, would you support more city resources to the Richmond Main Street? Question number 2, do you support the Richmond Police Department being fully staffed at levels recommended by the Contra Costa Civil Grand Jury? Okay, question number 3. Would you, no, yes or no, no commentary. Would you support a new ordinance to better control sideshows? Fourth question, do you support the use of license plate readers for law enforcement? Yeah, flock cameras if you...
Flock cameras? Flock cameras or?
Flock cameras or?
Said license plate readers. Is that the flock cameras?
It doesn't, the question doesn't say flock camera.
Okay,
Okay, it doesn't say flock
Doesn't
cameras.
say
All right.
flock cameras, then.
I stand corrected then. I did not know we had 2 different kinds of cameras.
Yeah,
Hang on a moment. We'll
Flock
get to
camera is a company.
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
the last question.
Yes or no?
That's
Do you support increasing enforcement on illegal smoke shops? Well, I can see you're not going to get any money from them, are you? All right, thank you. You can put those down. Now we'll reset. No, you're already 1 minute. You've got 1 minute. We are going to go to the closing statements. This is reverse order from the opening statements. So we will be going with Mr. Wassberg, Mr. Martinez, Mr. Johnson III, Ms. Jimenez, and then Mr. Anderson. So we'll start with Mr. Wassberg.
The bottom line is we need to get rid of this government we have right now. They did nothing for the law-abiding citizens. All they've been doing is preaching hate and violence against their own government. All they want to do is stand up for Antifa, the BLM, stand up for Hamas, every terrorist organization that they stood up for, defunding the police, supporting illegal immigrants, shutting off the cameras. This is what type of government you have. And they take a note to the Constitution. All this other stuff is secondary. Sure, we need housing, we need health care, we need jobs and all that. But the main focus on is what kind of government do you want for the next 4 years? This is the way they're not working with Brown because the RPA is sticking to each other. That's all they do. It's all about the RPA. And you cannot have this in our government. I keep telling you people, you don't put people in office that's going to support terrorism and hate and violence and not support our Constitution. This is what they're doing.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martinez?
Yes, I want to make Richmond a destination city. And we do that, first off, by having financial stability. We've accomplished that since I've been mayor. Over the past year, we've made serious disciplined decisions behind the dais, and because of that work, Richmond is in a stronger financial position. We've adopted a balanced budget, steady revenue that grows across property taxes, utility user taxes, franchise fees, operation transfers. Measure U alone generated 14.6 million last year. As a result of this discipline, Richmond has formally been removed from the state auditor's high-risk list, and our credit outlook looks more stable. So I want a city that runs efficiently, and we are doing that now. With a lot of improvement in infrastructure and public works. If you go around the city, you can see what we've done. If you don't, then you don't see it.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Well, once again, my name is Demnlus Johnson III, and I am your candidate for mayor. In the words of Johnny Guitar Watson, let me tell you about my qualifications. Education, Howard University School of Communications, UC Berkeley's Goldman School of Public Policy. In terms of experience, city council member, vice mayor, working across the aisle, working to represent the entire city, not just the district. Your next mayor will lead you through the general plan, where that's our roadmap, where we talk about the future of housing, employment, business, and et cetera here in the city of Richmond. Laying the foundation for Richmond 2050 starts now. And this is Richmond. This is the city that saved democracy by producing the most warships in World War II, brought blues to the West Coast and laid the foundation for West Coast hip hop, Bay Area hip hop, and been a home to many immigrant and migrant groups. Your next mayor of Richmond is going to have to be able to use that history and elevate it and build on that legacy. My name is Demnlus Johnson III, and I am that candidate. I am your Rooted in Richmond candidate. To learn more, visit us at johnsonforrichmondmayor.com. Once again, that's johnsonforrichmondmayor.com. Thank you.
Thank you, and Ms. Jimenez.
Thank you so much for organizing this. My name is Claudia Jimenez. I am a city council in District 6, and I am running for mayor because I believe deeply in Richmond potential. Not just for economic growth, housing and business development, but for a future where everybody and every family can thrive. I have been fighting for working families, environmental justice, and economic fairness for many decades. I am from Colombia, but I choose to be in Richmond. I am growing, like my kids are here. They were born in Richmond. So I have a lot of interest in becoming, and this city to become the future that can serve my kids and other kids. And I have demonstrated that I can deliver. That the reason why we are in a stronger financial situation was because my work in the finances and in the budget. So please vote for me, Claudia Jimenez, for Richmond. Thank you.
And Mr. Anderson.
Ahmad Anderson for mayor, great city of pride and purpose. I am your native son. Also son of the South Side, of which we are both proud, Demnlus and I. But what we're talking about is not just the administrative piece of what we've done academically, the many boards we served on, from the Youth Service Bureau, Child Care Council, NAACP, South Shore Alliance. We're talking about lived experience in this city. The folks have said what they've done, but you need to not only see it, you need to be able to feel it. Don't tell me today, show me it every day. Walk it as you talk it. That has not been demonstrated. We know what the city council looks like. We need folks to be collaborative. I've had the opportunity to be in workforce development, economic development, education, and most importantly, someone who looks out for my man, my woman, the they, the them, every day of my life. It's we, us together, your voice, our actions collectively, they matter. Ahmad Anderson, your choice for mayor of the great city of Richmond.
I want to thank you very much. Before we actually close, so I first want to thank Vibe Bistro again for making their facility available for us. But also, we couldn't have done this without our two fine timekeepers. We got Oscar Garcia. Why don't you stand and wave to the crowd? Stand and tell them your name. Here we go. Yeah, thank you very much. Now, once again, we want to thank the candidates who have taken their time away from walking precincts, making phone calls, and standing on street corners shouting at possible voters. We've had several forums already, and there are still a few more scheduled. Quite frankly, many of the questions and even the responses all start sounding the same after 5 or 10 forums. So we hope that these questions and responses were unique enough to provide the insight needed so an informed choice can be made. We wish the candidates luck. Ballots will be mailed out early next week, and they should be in our hands by the end of the week. And now, before we go, we have the obligatory group photograph, and ask the candidates to come forward.
Is this the same picture, Don? Like it's the same?
No, you're going to smile this time.